This afternoon in the marketplace, parliamentary standoff on revenue mobilization. We assess the impact of the lack of consensus on the House on national issues on investor confidence. Also, some banks confident of strong economic pickup in 2022 amid COVID-19. We'll hear from the Managing Director of Bank PLC.
We learned from the first wave that we had, and we've been able to ensure that we put in place measures for both customers and staff to be able to ensure that we are able to deal with it in terms of the ramifications of COVID.
And the Chartered Institute of Markets in Ghana renews commitments to support government to develop policy and regulation for markets in Ghana.
To actively work towards repositioning Ghana as a beacon of democracy, reasonably and relatively matured compared to her peers, in order to attract the attention of the global investor community.
All these stories and more coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Hello and welcome. I'm Charles Aitib. We have seen the showdown in Parliament last night amid fisticuffs, all because both sides of the House failed to reach a consensus on the certificate of urgency for the controversial 1.75% electronic levy that government seeks to implement. So far, Parliament has adjourned sitting until January 18 next year. But what this means is that the revenue target for this controversial bill will not be reached in the time being. Aside from this controversy, there are deep concerns over the signals that this development sends to Ghana's investor community. Well, joining us to discuss is the Center Coordinator for CART International, Apia Kusi Edumako. We're grateful that you could join us, sir, of course, on a very, awkward moment as this. As you can see on your screen, international, policy. I mean, your mandate as CART International is to develop competitive policy and development programs. To what extent is the country risking its attractiveness to foreign investment amid standoffs of this nature?
Yeah, I think the last night's standoff is also part of our democratic governance. If we've seen over the years in some countries where this standoff tends to become a regular feature. Last night it was so because of the very thin line bordering the two sides of parliament. I mean, both sides separated by just a single MP, and so you are more likely to see this thing happening. But I think that the way we resolve it determines how we can move forward. Even in America, we saw what happened in January 6th, where people stormed the Capitol Hill. But then what happened is, how does the rule of law in this country, how does parliamentary procedure tend to resolve some of these things? And that shows how mature we are. I mean, one Chinese philosopher said that it doesn't matter the number of times you fall down, but the number of times you pick yourself up when you fall down. So some of these things will continue to be part of our democracy that prevent it from not happening. I mean, should be the something that we should be looking at.
Great, but when we're looking at the numbers regarding standoffs once again, we're talking of the 1.75% electronic levy, which of course has seen its back and forth since government introduced it on the floor of Parliament. With this particular levy lie the burden of revenue mobilization in excess of over 300 billion Ghana cedis for next year. Government says it needs this money so much to embark on specific developmental projects. Investors are going to be looking at the numbers to decide for themselves which areas to spread their capital, thin. Having, situated what's happening on the floor of Parliament, once again regarding the need, the standoff between both sides to reach an agreement on specific matters of revenue mobilization, it will impact our target, and therefore it will send negative signals to investors there who are also looking at the numbers to inform their decisions. How do we balance the risks involved in this?
Okay, so if government is not able to get this levy through, that's going to be a big blow to government and to everybody, because that will create a huge gap between expenditure and revenue. And that will mean government having to withdraw some of social services. And that could also become very, very bad for the economy. And you see, the thing is that getting this one through is not necessarily an NPP success, but rather it's a success for Ghana. If the levy doesn't go through, and in 2024, any new government that comes after the will have to come and confront with this albatross. So what is more important is that the both sides need to meet and resolve this thing amicably, because if government MPP is able to get this one through, I'm not sure after 2024 election, whoever comes will withdraw it because they oppose it. I mean, I saw the money doesn't go to politicians' pockets, it goes into the public purse to resolve and help in our democratic and developmental needs. So I think for me, we need to be able to resolve these issues amicably. Now, how do we ensure that this thing doesn't affect investor confidence? In the short term, this can even affect how our CD performs. We are looking for the close of business today, how the CD would react to what happened in Parliament last night. And that is a short term. But I'm very confident that between now and January 7th, this issue will be resolved, because Parliament has its leadership. Both minority and majority can sit down and chart a workable solution among this issue.
Of course, you deal with competitive policies, and you also engage the business community on how best they can remain competitive in the SAP region and even globally. We have also spoken to some of these, businessmen and women, entrepreneurs for that nature, and they're raising concerns about the e-levy, saying that it could really, offset attractiveness to electronic platform usage in the country, and of course, entrepreneurs within this eco space as well. From where you sit, what particular risk does the e-levy pose aside its, attractiveness to revenue mobilization?
Okay, so the e-levy is helping government to get revenue to resolve its fiscal challenges. And also on the demands, on the supply side, those who are paying it also has a lot of issues on them. Because whenever you are transferring money from one point to another, government takes 1.75 plus what the platform users would also charge. So it's going to have effect on doing business in the country. But for me, what is more important is how do we ensure that this new levy that government has brought will not impact heavily on private sector and Ghanaians. And I think the best approach is government to bring the figure even below 1%, and then maybe gradually increase it. But starting it at 1.75 for us is very huge. And 1.75, anybody that we talk to will say that it is not the best, because it is also going to allow some businesses that are into exporting and imports to keep their imports, their foreign exchange in an offshore account, so that anytime they want to make a transfer, they transfer the money there, and then they receive all their inflow in that offshore account. And that alone can also affect the city's performance. And so I think the door for discussion is still not complete, and I don't see why government is also in a hurry too much to be able to get this one through without the broader consultation, without the broader cost-benefit analysis on the very 1.75 threshold that the figure is looking at.
Indeed, Ajumako, we're grateful for your analysis there. Here's, with the CAT International, the center coordinator at that, helping us with his submission on development in Parliament and its signals to the investor community. Well, let's now delve into the banking industry because some banks have expressed optimism of an economic rebound next year, even better than what was witnessed in this year amid COVID-19. According to the managing director of Carl Bank, Philip Oredu, even though the pandemic brought some disruptions this year, the sector was able to surmount the pressure. He spoke to Joy Business at this year's staff Thanksgiving service organized by his outfit. We have more in this report.
According to the Bank of Ghana's Banking Sector Development Report, an assessment of the banking sector performance in 2020 showed that the industry somewhat withstood the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic on the back of strong policy support and regulatory reliefs. Managing Director of Carl Bank, Philip Oredu, said, considering measures being put in place, the bank will witness significant performance in the year 2022, even with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
I think last year COVID was quite new to everyone. So in terms of coming to terms with it, in terms of getting to know how to manage it, was quite a difficult one. Though we've had a second wave in this country this year, in terms of management of it, at least we learned from the first wave that we had, and we've been able to ensure that we put in place measures for both customers and staff to be able to ensure that we are able to deal with it in terms of the ramifications of COVID. So compared to last year, this year I would say that we've been able to manage this quite well.
Meanwhile, sharing the bank's outlook for 2022, the Carl Bank MD says his outfit will continue to improve on its retail banking as part of a 3-year growth strategy.
As an institution, we have our strategic initiatives, and as I said, we put together a 3-year strategy. The core of it is to ensure that in terms of our retail business, we expand our retail business. Our people are key to us. Technology is key to us. Our culture is key to us. Risk management is key to us. So throughout this year, we've prosecuted quite a number of initiatives in terms of what we set for ourselves for the first year. We would reinforce all that we need to do in 2022, and as I said, the strategy is for a 3-year period.
This year's Carl Bank Staff Thanksgiving service featured the celebration of some dedicated staff for their long service.
Well, we're taking a commercial break, but still ahead in the bulletin, Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, renews commitments to support governments to develop policy and regulation for the marketing sector in Ghana.
To actively work towards repositioning Ghana as a beacon of democracy, reasonably and relatively matured compared to her peers in order to attract the attention of the global investor community.
Well, the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, has renewed its commitments to support government in developing policy and regulation for marketing in Ghana. According to the institute, there is a need to draw foreign attention to Ghana's vibrant democratic environment, a situation expected to boost foreign inflows. The president of the CIMG, Dr. Daniel Kasati, made this known at the 31st President's Ball organized by the institute.
We are mandated to do under Sections 3, A, B, and C of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Act 2020, Act 1021. It is imperative for CIMG under the Act to set the agenda for the practice of marketing, champion the role and value of marketing as a catalyst, as a critical tool for business development, and support government in the development of policy and regulation for marketing Ghana. It is our expectation at the end of the day that this theme will prompt Ghana as a body corporate and all other units operating within, whether in the public or private sector, to actively work towards repositioning Ghana as a beacon of democracy, reasonably and relatively matured compared to her peers, in order to attract the attention of the global investor community, including tourists and leisure travelers, to consider Ghana as their must-go-to destination in Africa.
Meanwhile, the CIMG President's Ball featured the induction of new members into the Institute. The Marketing Man of the Year and Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Selim Adadivo, admonished practitioners to uphold good ethics in marketing practice.
Congratulations to all of you. It's great to see all of you join the CIMG, and I'm sure we'll hear more about your contributions to not only the CIMG, but to the marketing world overall. I'm particularly excited to be part of this ceremony tonight. It's always great to see all the energy from marketers, and for myself to know that we're all in very good hands. As I said at the beginning as well, I talked a lot about how COVID-19 has changed the world we live in today, and that we really have to adapt, and we have no option if we want to survive. In my closing remarks, I just want to remind all of us that this means a lot to the marketing profession as well. And the way we think about marketing, the way we think about getting to customers, the variables we think that allow us to segment our users to be able to design the right marketing campaigns have all changed. And to be more effective, we all have to embrace what these changes mean in our own lives and our own jobs. So moving forward, we can continue to be as effective as we have been in the past.
And the 31st CIMG President Ball saw the Director of Sales and Marketing at Graphic Communications Group, Franklin Soa, as well as the Chief Marketing Officer of MTN, Noel Kojo Ganson, recognized as Fellows of the CIMG. Congratulations to them. Away from that, the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, has revealed that as part of efforts to support the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, his outfit intends to focus on the economic development of young entrepreneurs. He made this known at the Ghana Startup Network's 5th Young Entrepreneurs Summit organized in Accra.
The summit sought to create an enabling platform for Ghanaian youth, women and young entrepreneurs to be sensitized on the various protocols of AfCFTA and to discuss the strategy by national institution to facilitate trading beyond borders. Speaking to Joy Business, Pius Enam Hajide indicated that his outfit will pay keen attention to the economic progress of youth entrepreneurs.
We have decided that we must pay attention and some focus on the economic strand of development. And we believe that that will create the jobs. It will change young people from job seekers to job creators.
Chief Executive of Maslok, Hajia Abibata Shani Mahama, on her part, outlined some financial and access packages her outfit is currently running to support youth, women and young entrepreneurs.
Can take the small loan from 5,000 Ghana cedis to 200,000 Ghana cedis at the CU's level, but any amount beyond 200,000 Ghana cedis, it has to go to the board. We are open to every Ghanaian citizen 18 years and above. So once you come to Maslok, what we require from you are your bank statements, registration documents, SIN number, and in some cases collateral. But for the youth, we are looking at a way that we can do a waiver on the collateral. For example, when the youth want to start businesses, they may not necessarily have collateral. So what do we do in place of collateral? So it's something that we are into discussion.
However, Solomon Ejay, Executive Director, Ghana Startup Network, has urged institutions to put their words into actions.
So we'll put ourselves together as young people. We'll test the system and see how it works. I mean, we not like we are testing, but then we'll apply it to the system and see if it really gives us what we need as young people. And we believe that with the word that they're giving us today, they will walk by their talk to make sure that the young people get the benefit they need to get to trade beyond borders of Ghana.
Now, in a bid to improve electricity access in Sierra Leone, government has sent a delegation led by the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jallow, to Ghana to meet institutions in the energy sector in the country. Sierra Leone, with 31% energy access, has challenges in the area of generation, transmission and distribution and government, but is ready to learn from Ghana to improve the situation. Dr. Mohamed Jallow disclosed this when the delegation visited the Ghana Grid Company, which is Gridco in Tema. Correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in this report.
This was the second time a high-level delegation from Sierra Leone was visiting Gridco, following an earlier one led by the country's president, Julius Maada Bio. Sierra Leone currently has challenges in the area of power generation, transmission and distribution, and governance, but is ready to learn from Ghana. For the delegation, the visit was even more important as the country is part of the agreement between Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone and Guinea to undertake the CLAG Transco project, which spans over 1,300 kilometers to export power from Côte d'Ivoire. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Jallow says there is the need to continue investing in energy.
The energy sector is a priority to Sierra Leone government for several reasons. As a government that wants to open up its sectors, as a government that wants to open up its country, as a government that wants to attract foreign direct investment, as a government that wants to bolster the productive sector, it is but very important that we focus and invest enormously in the energy sector. We have been doing that progressively under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Energy, Dr. Alhaji Kanja Sise. When we came in, energy access in Sierra Leone was 16%. Today, 3 years down the line, we are 31%, and we know that we still need to do more.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of Gridco, Ibn Singh, says the collaboration provides an avenue to share experience and information.
Things that we went through, we are ready to guide you in any aspect of our works. The traps that we fell in, what we learned, what is it that we must do going forward. Then also, based on our knowledge of the industry, for you, based on the Transco CLSG project and the need for you to acquire the knowledge in terms of planning, maintenance, we are ready. You just need to call on us and we'll gladly come and assist your team in setting things up. With respect to the compact, we have done ours successfully. Lucky for us, we had major grant component of it that we use for our 2 big substations in Ghana. I believe you visited there, and therefore it's something that if you happen to be willing to let us help in any way possible, just let us do that.
The VIP expressed gratitude to management and staff of Gridco, government and other state agencies assisting his country in the power sector.
Now, President of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce Canada, Alexander Norte, says the chamber will scale up trading activities between Ghana and Canada in 2022. According to him, trading activity dipped due to COVID, but new strategies will be developed next year to get members trade more with Canada without hindrances. Take a listen to him.
At the commissioning of the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce new edifice at Leone in Accra, it entreated its members to be proactive in trading with Canada. Members of the association were also asked to take full advantage of the existing opportunity to develop a close relationship and bilateral trade.
We are celebrating the opening of our new offices here in Leone. We're looking to promote business between Canada and Ghana. So basically we've invited all our members here to witness the opening of our new offices. Well, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Ghanaian businesses to meet Canadian businesses as well. We do a lot of trade missions and seminars, traveling to Canada and so forth. So ideally, we inform the local businesses of what activities are going on in Canada. Well, we felt that we needed to give our members a lot more value for money because there's a membership subscription. So therefore, we have offices here where we provide business services for our members. So we're offering a little bit more to them. Because we've been hampered by the COVID over the past few years, we're trying to step up our activities, our trade missions, and trying to co-opt more members to do business with Canadian companies. Canada as well has been a bit slow because of the COVID.
Well, that'll be all for The Marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. We're grateful that you could join us and, of course, enjoy the rest of our programs.